Hey, I'm going to share some tips for making your home less appealing to burglars and thieves. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Deb McNeill of McNeill and Associates Real Estate in the North Tarrant County area. Uh, Something really shocking happened in our neighborhood in the last few days. Someone broke into a home, and we're fortunate. We live in a great neighborhood where those kinds of things don't happen. So it made me very aware. And my neighbors and I were talking. We kind of get lazy sometimes, and we forget to make sure our are as secure as possible. So here are 8 tips for making your home a little less appealing to burglars and thieves. All right. Number 1 is lights outside. Light it up. And not just with static lights that stay on all the time or are off. How about some sensor lights, by your garage, so that anybody around the outside of your garage is going to set, motion is going to set that off. Maybe by the front porch, lights that pop on when somebody walks up. Certainly something in the backyard. In the case of our neighborhood, someone went in the back door. So a light out there might have discouraged them. Number 2 is lights inside. Don't make it look like you're not home. Have some lights on when you are home. Sometimes we live in a cave with just the TV on, I know, but make sure that there's some light showing that looks like your home is occupied. And, if you're not home, leave some lights on. And oh my goodness, there are apps these days where you can attach, I don't know the lingo, you can hook your lighting system up to your phone and you can control individual lamps, different room lights. So even if you're gone for 2 weeks on your European tour, when the pandemic is over, you can control your lights and you can make it seem like someone is at home. Look into those things. The bulbs, the connectors, they're not all that difficult. If a techie like me can kind of begin to figure it out, you can too. All right, number 3 was one I hadn't thought about, and it mostly is because these days I don't have window unit air conditioners, but if you do, those are easy to shove in or pull out, and then the person has access through your windows. So secure those. Find a way to, screw brackets in so that they're more secure, and somebody would have to make some noise to get in. That makes it a little harder for them to do that. Number 4 is a good one. Install devices. There are all kinds of wonderful things you can install these days. Ring doorbells are easy, and they're kind of fun because you always know when the Amazon guy has been to your front porch. Ring also has cameras. There's other, there's a lot of security companies out there now that have do-it-yourself security systems, cameras. And we have, around our house, we have security cameras. And one of the things I like is the fact that at night, those cameras on the ceiling of the porch, they have a little red glow around them. They're easy. It's kind of easy to see. We have cameras. I'm hoping that's a discouragement to anybody coming. So we have cameras all the way around. We can check them on the phone, the iPad, the computer. It just makes it a little easier to keep an eye on our property when we're not home. Number 5 is obvious, but sometimes in the course of my real estate work, I go in places where I see locks are very flimsy. So number 5 is good locks. Get yourself some good deadbolts for your main entry points. You want long screws. You want steel strike plates. Get good locks. Don't get cheap ones. My son has spent some time as a locksmith, and there's times when he looks at a lock and goes, Let's get rid of that one. So get good locks. They are a discouragement to the people, the undesirables we don't want in our house. Okay, number 6. It's kind of obvious, but it's our home, so we don't think about hiding our valuables. Look, don't make it easy. If somebody were to break into your house, don't make the cash easy to find. Don't make your jewelry easy to find. Oh, and let's don't make the guns easy to find. There's gun safes that are big enough that they can't be hauled out. If you've got a small case, my husband has one for a pistol, secure it down so it can't be just picked up and opened elsewhere. Keep cash in unconventional places. Do not put it in your sock drawer. Maybe tuck it in a package in your freezer. Tuck it in a box of feminine products. That keeps people keep their hands off those. And be creative where you put a few things. Make your expensive jewelry a little harder to dig for than the cheaper pieces that you have. And if you have medications, at least keep them under the counter where they're not as easy to find. Number 7 is pretty simple, actually. It's basic landscaping. Trim your shrubs. They do not have to be bald little nubs, but let's not let them be wild jungle. And that's my preference. I like it. Big, healthy plants. And I, trim the shrubs. Trim the shrubs so people can't hide behind them. Tree up your trees so that you can see under them. That lets a little light and air under it. It's healthier for your yard anyway, but it makes it a little easier for you to put some light under there. If you were to hear a nasty noise at night and you're standing in the doorway with a flashlight, you can see. The shrubs won't hide them. Number 8 is my favorite. Get a dog, or at least make it look like you have a dog. If you don't have a dog, there's no reason you can't buy a food bowl and a toy to lay on your back porch. Maybe a little beware of dog sign to go on your back fence. We have dogs. I love dogs. And even a little dog that will make lots of noise when they hear a noise outside or they see somebody walking by, that can discourage someone from coming. Anytime you go to a door and before you can ring the bell, the dogs are barking, that's a pretty well protected home. And look, I love big dogs, but you don't have to have a big dog. Little dogs. I had a law enforcement officer tell me one time that he liked little dogs because they tended to pee all over the intruder's feet so that the intruder was a little easier to find later on. Here's a couple of bonuses. Don't ever leave your ladders outside, especially in the front yard. If you must have them outside because they're so big, secure them in some way to your house so they're a little harder, because the ladder is just an invitation to come into a second-story window. The other bonus is if you have sliding patio doors, the locks on those are sometimes kind of flimsy. Either upgrade the lock, which is easier said than done, or cut yourself a length of broomstick, just enough to fit in that slot where the door slides. That way, when that stick is in there, that door won't open. So when you're gone for a weekend or a week, you can drop that in there, close the blinds. Your home is a little more secure. Yeah, somebody could break the glass. I get that. That's, the dog helps there. The security cameras help there. Hopefully it just discourages someone and they don't even approach your home. The last thing I'll say is just this week, law enforcement told our neighborhood, hey, every night before you go to bed, or make it 9 o'clock, do a check. Are your cars locked? Have you closed the garage door? Are you locking up for the night? I can tell you there's been times I've gotten up in the morning and found that the back door was unlocked because I forgot to lock it. Don't do that. Don't make it easy for somebody. And, one last thing he said, don't just leave a remote control to your garage door clipped to the visor of your car. All somebody has to do is smash the window, grab that remote, and they're in your house. So try to bring them in. Keep that remote with your keys so that you take it back out the next day. And it's just one more way of making your property secure. If you liked this content, I hope you never, ever, ever truly need it, but I hope you use it. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, comment on, if I've forgotten anything. I'm happy to do an update later on if you think of something that ought to have been included here. Stay safe out there.